All right,
What
what's
up?
up, everybody? It's week 3 of the NFL, and this is the Nosebleed Perspective pregame show where we're going to talk about the spreads of the week, maybe a few things we learned about week 2. We're just here to help you make some money, get them final bets in before kickoff in 55 minutes, and I'll pass it off to our host, Dylan
All right.
Logston.
Yeah, everyone, we got our pick'ems that are going to be coming out right now. Hope everyone's excited for week 3. We'll go ahead and kick this thing off. We had Thursday night football, which was Miami over at Jacksonville. Miami came away with the overwhelming win. The spread was Jacksonville favored by 3. I lost that one. Gibby won it, and me and Cheech lost it. So good start for you. And we'll go ahead and kick it off. Once again, happy Sunday. This is my first Red Zone Sunday back at the house. Just able to soak it all in all at once. Yep, thank you. And so first game we got the Atlanta Falcons. They are the favorites by 3 against the Chicago Bears. Gibby, where's your head at with this one? Atlanta had a little hiccup last week. Should have won that game, obviously. So who knows what you're going to get. But what do you got?
Well, so to start off, I just want to say Vegas hates Trubisky. They hate him. They're 2-0, and the Falcons are 0-2, and the Falcons are the favorites today. Like, that makes no sense to me. The only thing I can come up with is Vegas has no faith in Trubisky at all. This is my least confident pick of the week. I'm telling you to stay away from this one if you are throwing money down. But for me, I've got to roll with the Bears.
Yeah, I figured you would since you do have them winning the NFC North. But I'm going to go ahead and roll with Atlanta on this one. I think there's still a team that wins games, even though they have these hiccups. Everyone knows 28-3. Everyone knows what happened last week. But I think that Atlanta can cover right here, and they get back on track against Chicago, who is a pretender, not a contender. And Mitch Trubisky is not the truth. So yeah, rolling with the Falcons on here. I think they win it straight up. So
nice.
All right. So next we have the Los Angeles Rams playing over in Buffalo. So this is probably, besides the Monday Night Football game, Kansas City, Baltimore, maybe at least for me, the most anticipated game because there's two good teams. Buffalo really has had it rolling. They're a solid team, great defense. Josh Allen's on the uprise. And the Rams actually look really good. Their offensive line is playing well this year, I will say. And, they got it cooking right now. So Rams have 2.5 points. Buffalo's the favorite here. I'm going to roll. This hurts me to say, but I am going to have to go with – just kidding. I'm going with the Rams. They treated me well this year. I cannot pick against them in a close one like this. It's in Buffalo. The weather's not as cold right now, so I think Jared Goff still plays well. If it's December when this happens, I think that the Rams definitely struggle and probably lose by 2 touchdowns. But I don't know if Buffalo. I know they have a great defense, but I'm on the train right now. I know I'm trying to be unbiased. I think we really can go in there and get this win. Matt Carlson said Bills win by 4. Solid projection. I'm probably in the minority on this one, but yeah, if the Rams lose this or Rams win this game and I don't pick with them, I'm gonna hate myself. So, going with the Rams in a close one, but this is gonna be a great game.
Yeah, it is. And Sean McVay. I'm maybe the biggest skeptic of Sean McVay, but he is an absolute beast. He is the beast of the East on the East Coast. This dude's like 7-0 in East Coast time zone games whenever he's been the head coach of the Rams. I'm not going to say this about all games, I promise, but please keep your money away from this one too because you just have no idea how this was going to go. It's going to be a coin flip. I'm excited to watch it. So I'm going to have Red Zone on, and I think this is going to be my game of the week for the first slate of games that I'm going to have on my laptop. I'm excited about, Josh Allen in a big game. This is the big question we want to know. Carlson, I'm rolling with you, bud. I'm going to put Buffalo on here, but I'm not putting a dime on it.
Yeah, I would definitely stay away from this one for sure. It's going to be an exciting game. It's going to have – this is one of those games during the season for both these teams. You look back and you can kind of judge a team off how they played in a game like this. Especially going into the playoffs if these teams make it. All right, so next we have the Washington Red Potatoes versus the Cleveland Browns. Browns are favorited by 7 points, a full touchdown, an extra point. Gibby, who do you have going with this one? As Zane says, Bills Mafia
Bills
from
Mafia.
Cape. All right.
I wish, if there's fans in the stands, Bills Mafia probably comes out in full force, but no in there. So we're talking Browns. So of course, I've been saying it since the beginning of the season. I've got to go with the Browns. I think their offensive line is just good enough to be able to hold off the old red potatoes to just get this dub and beat the spread. I just don't have enough confidence in their offense to score enough points in this game. And I think that the 1-2 punch of Kareem Hunt and Chubb that they got back to last week is going to be huge. So if you got them two guys in your fantasy, I think they're both must starts. So I'm rolling with Hunt and Chubb.
Yeah. This one was, I looked at it and at first I was like, 7 points, Browns. It's really hard. It's like just uncharted territory. It's hard for me to go with this, but I am on your side with this one. I am rolling with the Browns. They had a win last week against the Bengals. They get an easy opponent again against the Red Potatoes. So I am in favor of the Browns winning by 10 points, 14 points this week. So 7, I think they cover, and that's who I'm rolling with. Yeah, let's go Cleveland today. All right. Next game, we have the Tennessee Titans and the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings, they have looked real bad, Brent. They have looked terrible. They have probably looked like the worst team in the NFL. I don't know if that's an overreaction over 2 weeks, but boy, if you've seen them play football, they've looked horrible. So I'm going to go ahead and roll with the Titans. This is an easy one for me. I don't like the Titans they're just going to run it down their throat. That Vikings defense, I think I said it last week, is not what it used to be. Look for Derrick Henry to have a big day, especially in the second half.
Yeah, man. Like we talked about it a month or two ago. I had this Vikings team as the third worst team in their division before the season started. That secondary is just not playing well. I think they get better as the season moves on, but this is one of my locks of the week. I mean, hammer the Titans today if you want to make some money. What's the spread up to now if you're betting right now? What's that? What's the spread?
I have 2.5.
Okay.
I mean,
that's crazy.
But
it's crazy because I feel like this is a trap. Vegas will set us up sometimes with some traps this. It just seems too good to be true. Maybe Vegas knows something we don't, but man, I just don't see a way where the Titans don't win this by field goal.
Yeah, I mean, somehow, some way, Vegas always figures out a way to know.
Yep.
So, yeah, but it didn't make my locks, but it is. I think you hammer this one, boy. All right. So next we have the Las Vegas Raiders, just coming off a big win against the Saints. They're 2-0. Everybody's high on them right now. Well, not everyone, but people are high on the Raiders right now. They have some pieces: Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs, Derek Carr is not fucking up too bad. And they go against the New England Patriots. So Patriots are favored 5.5 points. Gibby, who do you have in this one in New England?
Okay, so I'm Parker, buddy. How you been, man? Can't go against Kirk. Kirk has not showed up. Parker,
Kirk, I think his own coach goes against Kirk. He won't let him be himself. I do believe Kirk Cousins has the ability to be a good quarterback, and he's been that in the past. But boy, it's
he needs you to coach him up, Parker.
Yeah.
But going back to Las Vegas, I would have never guessed in my wildest dreams that I'd be going the first 3 weeks Raiders. But they've won. They beat the spread twice. Vegas still doesn't love them. New England cannot stop the run. And as much as I love New England, which is weird, but Tom Brady's gone, a big Bill Belichick guy. Josh Jacobs, I think, is going to torch these guys. I really do. Their O-line comes back. They were beat up last week, and I think the Pats win this game, but I think the Raiders cover. If you're putting money on, Vegas wants you to bet Pats. They want you to bet Pats, and I can't do it. Sorry, Madero.
I mean, you said, Vegas wants you to bet Pats. The Raiders are 2-0. New England had a tough loss against Seattle. 5.5 points, good amount. But I'm sticking with New England on this one, boys. Listen, they were this close to beating the Seahawks last week, and the Seahawks are a real team. You're right. They can't stop the run. They've had issues with that. Josh Jacobs probably has a big game. But I feel like Cam, after last week, he probably learned some things. He's probably, this week all at practice, all he wants to do. I think it's a bad matchup right now for the Raiders. It's not going to work out for them today on this given Sunday. And New England wins by 10 here, boys. Yeah. All right. Next we have the 49ers, and boy, it's going to be a tough look for the 49ers today. You're going to look at that football game and see a lot of players who are not used to playing. I mean, you got Brad Mullen, what's his name?
No, Mullins. He had a good game 2 years ago.
Oh yeah. So, I mean, they're missing a lot of pieces, especially on that D line. Mostert out, Jimmy G out. But they do have a favorable matchup with another team that lost their best player last week in Saquon Barkley and the Giants. So the 49ers are favored by 4 today. I'm rolling with the 49ers. I know they're missing some pieces, but that run game, I don't think it matters who you throw back there. They're just going to penetrate the Giants, and I do believe that the Giants are one of the worst teams in football right now. And it's going to be a minute for you Giants fans, but even with all the missing pieces today, San Francisco finds a way to pull this one out by more than 4, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm rolling with you, man. I mean, this should be the injured reserve bowl. Like, this is just a bunch of backups playing, but both teams are hurting. I think when both teams are hurting, I think it comes down to coaching, and I'm going with Shanahan here.
Exactly. I mean, that's a great point. Great point. Joe Judd, special teams coach.
Yeah.
So, and that O-line for the Giants is just piss poor.
Yeah, it's rough. Even from a fantasy perspective, like any of them running backs that you paid all that fab for, use your waiver wire for, it's going to be tough because if Saquon can't run with that O-line, I don't see Devontae Freeman running with that O-line.
Yeah, one thing I have learned in the past, no matter who the starting running back, the premier running back for the Giants is, I don't care if they go out for a few weeks or for a year. Do not take their backups.
It's just not going to be.
They will not treat you well. I don't care if they're running the ball 45 times. All right, so another game that I'm really looking forward to. It might not be the sexiest game of the week, but the Cincinnati Bengals play the Philadelphia Eagles. This is going to be an interesting game, in my opinion, because Philadelphia is they are on the way, all the way down right now. They have a lot of injuries. They've been struggling. Eagles fans want Carson Wentz out of town, and they want to get Jalen Hurts in there. I'm not sure if I agree exactly on that one, but they're just in a rough spot at the moment. And Cincinnati has 5 points with them. We've seen kind of what Joe Burrow can do, but we've also seen Joe Burrow just absolutely taking a beating. So if they don't protect him soon, I'm scared that Joe Burrow gets the Andrew Luck effect and just his career just is shortened because he's a great talent, just like Andrew Luck. And that's only off 2 NFL games, but I think we all can see it back there. Like the dude with a little more time, he can be really good. Anyway, Eagles are favored by 5. This one was really tough for me because I want to see the Bengals actually win a game, but I am going to take the Eagles. I don't think they go just 0-3 like that. So
yeah,
I some way, somehow, I think they pull it off. But listen, that could easily be the other way. I think the Bengals could also win by 2 touchdowns, to be honest with you. So
yeah, I mean, we just talked about a terrible O-line in the Giants, and the only one that could be worse is the Bengals. Like, their offensive line is bad. They have Joe Mixon back there, who's an absolute stud at football. He plays great football. Like, there's no denying that, and he cannot get going. So, like, for me, that Eagles D-line finally getting healthy, and I think their O-line, haven't checked the injury report, so check that out before you throw any money on it. If that O-line is back, man, like, I think the Eagles could hit their 2 tight ends. Miles Sanders is going to go off today if you have him in fantasy. I mean, of course you're starting him because you took him in the first round or second. I got the Eagles getting the dub, and I hope it's a big dub. And I hate to say that because Eagles fans have been yelling Jalen Hurts for the past week, and I think that is whenever it just drives me nuts, man. Like, every win can't be on the quarterback, every loss can't be on the quarterback. This is not Wentz's fault.
Yeah, I know. I was watching the Rams play on a stream, Eagles fan stream last week, and they were all chanting just like, let's get Carson Wentz the hell out of town right now because. But anyway, next game we have the Houston Texans they've had a couple bad matchups and tough first couple games. Let's say probably the hardest in the league against the Chiefs and the Ravens. And now they don't get really much of a drop off with a defense that could probably be the best in the league right now against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Houston, they have 4 points against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's the favorite here. I'm rolling with Pittsburgh. I just can't get. I'm a big O-line guy. I can't get down with that O-line against this defensive front for Pittsburgh. They were a group of guys who did stay healthy, unlike a lot of people last week. So I got to take Pittsburgh by 4. But this will be a fun game. We could probably learn a lot from somebody like Deshaun Watson and what that team really could be. Because I mean, they have been beat by double digits the past couple weeks, but they've been in the game in a sense. Yeah. I don't know how to explain it, but so when they're not facing two of the best 3 teams in the NFL, we'll see how they perform. But I still like.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Oh. For me, I gotta go Texans, man. And this is going to be a weird reason why. Deshaun Watson is used to getting pressured. He's used to it. Like, it's already week 3. He's used to getting run around. So TJ Watt and them guys, like, it's not going to be anything new to him. Like, he's just going to have to. And Houston's eventually going to, like, get an easier schedule. They're eventually going to make a run. And maybe it starts today. I don't know. I think I'd put money on this one, but I wouldn't throw a whole lot. Don't throw your life savings on this one. But I think Houston covers eventually. After that 0-2 start and you play 2 good teams, like, you're really evaluating your team. And I think the Texans get better. And we don't want to speak about that wide receiver, but if he can get on the field and play better, I think Texans can cover.
Yeah, they definitely have that potential, I would say, but we'll see what happens. All right, so next game, our boy Cheech, who's just having a tough break over in Germany right now, has no internet, so he can't join us. Just RIP to him and his internet and everything going on with that. Singletary versus Rams, Carson or David Johnson versus. Look, I'll go ahead and.
That's tough. You got anybody else?
Yeah. I mean, you got to play. So, look, both these teams have really good D lines.
PPR or not, I think that matters.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're in a PPR,
I would imagine it's PPR. But yeah, so I'm going David Johnson on this no matter what, actually, because. Singletary. Actually, hold on. Time out. Zach Moss is not playing today. He's not playing
the only
today.
Guy.
Singletary, run it.
Yeah, I think you got to go see. If it's a PPR, take a shot on David Johnson for some check downs because that pressure is going to get there. I think that's a great question, Carlson. Appreciate the support, man. If it's PPR, go. Oh, man, it's tough. I think you got Singletary. It's going to get.
Yeah.
And Don, that's tough, man. PPR, full PPR.
Yeah, Singletary. I mean, Rams are prone to give up some big plays too. So if he can bust one loose, he's really good at making the first guy miss. Small guy, but he's been productive.
Safer option is David Johnson. If you need the big play, if you need some big points out of him, going Singletary.
All right, so I think we kind of agree. Just because if Zach Moss is playing, you go David Johnson because they've been pretty much splitting everything.
Yep.
Maybe he can leave his footstep in the ground. Anyway, where are we at? Cheech's. Oh, yeah, we're talking about Cheech. And inevitably, we have to talk about the New York Jets. Oh, boy. I feel like the spread with the Jets is just going to keep every week getting higher and higher. So the Colts, a team that has not looked good, they just got lucky and ran into a team who looked worse last week with the Vikings. They play Jets, Colts today. Colts are the favorites, 11.5 points. Gibby, go ahead. I'll just let you.
So this line has not moved all week. It's been 11.5 since the beginning. So, we talk about traps with Vegas. If you're new to betting, they're going to throw traps at you throughout the week, throughout the year. They want you to take the Colts. They really do. They want you to bet everything on the Colts, and it could just be the spread. But 10 points, man, this is how I see this game playing out. Colts are up 17. Phillip Rivers throws a pick 6 at the end of the game. That means absolutely nothing. Jets cover. Go Jets if you're putting money on this one.
Attaboy. We're on the same page here. I mean, you think about today. I know we are. I think we've had opposite picks every week. First 2 weeks, yeah. I'm on the same page. I like the Jets in this one. 11.5 points. So think about how many games you've seen finish because of trash points in like 31-20 or something like that. A lot. And it's been the dominant team. The Colts are probably going to own this game all the way through. And but you never know with the Jets too. Like I know Adam Gase, blah, 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 is probably, on his way out. But boy, I'm going to go with the Jets here just because that's a lot of fucking points, and trash time could really play a factor in this one. So, yeah, I'm going Jets. So next game we have the Carolina Panthers. They get 6.5 points, which I feel like is a lot, versus a rookie-led Justin Herbert Chargers. Yeah. So Chargers are the favorite, 6.5. I'm going to take Carolina in this one. I know the Carolina Panthers have not been great, and I know that defense is young, just like that quarterback for the Chargers. But I just think something happens today. The Panthers kind of find a way to win. I think they win this game. And that's saying a lot because the Chargers just took the Super Bowl champs into overtime. So it's saying a lot, but I do like the Chargers to lose by more than 6.5 points. So I'm going Panthers today. And that's not a lock at all, but I like it.
All right. I like the pick, man. We're finally going to go a little different on this one. I just don't know what the Panthers offense looks like without CMC. Mike Davis did well, but he's not Christian McCaffrey. And whenever I think relying on Teddy with that secondary and that D-line, the way that they're playing right now, is going to be tough. So I think the Chargers win, by a touchdown or more. And I want to say something else. I'm not a big Herbert believer yet, but I think Herbert coming in and playing the way that he did just proves how bad Philip Rivers is, because all he had to do was not turn over the ball and just distribute the ball, and that's what he did. And that's how good this team can be, is how good they were last week.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned CMC being out. I think Teddy Bridgewater can be a quarterback who can actually win a ball game. He's known as a game manager, but without CMC, maybe he has that like a little bit of freedom to kind of do and control the offense. It'll be an interesting game for sure with that spread, because they're two teams we just don't know a whole lot about, especially with a rookie quarterback in Carolina who pretty much has not been absolutely stellar this year. But yeah, so all right, next game we have the Lions going against the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals, maybe the newest, hottest team in the league right now. Everybody's on that bandwagon at the moment. Cheech called it, so props to him. Arizona's favored by 5.5 points. So I am going to roll with the Cardinals. I think they keep it rolling with the opponent they have this week. Galladay does come back for the Lions, but he's expected to be on a snap count, so we'll see how that kind of – I still don't know what I'm doing with fantasy, and, the game's kicked off in 30 minutes. I have no idea if I'm going to play Galladay still. But I am going to take the Cardinals here just because, they're hot right now. Kyler Murray is he's that guy. He's last year's Lamar right now. So just – yeah.
Yeah, that stutter step that everyone saw on the sideline, like everyone who hasn't watched Kyler Murray play, they think that's a regular week-to-week thing for him. I just want to say I'm so glad he didn't pick baseball. And I have to go with the Cards here as well, because the Lions are 1-14 in the last 15 games, and no one is talking about their coach being on the hot seat. So that's a surprise to me. That's a lot of losses. I know a lot of them were tough, heartbreak losses, but 1-14, man, that's rough. So I got to go with Kyler and Kenyon Drake fired up. If you heard on the news, he basically told everyone, if you're not happy with drafting him in fantasy, that you can go ahead and drop him so he can be a gift to someone else. So he keeps up with the fantasy as well. He's been fine. Yeah, he's had 12 to 14 points. I don't know what you want from the man.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people reach for him like late first, and it's not exactly what you want. But yeah, Matt Patricia, you talked about him. I think he's just not a name that's going to be on the hot seat just because what he's done in New England and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting, though, if they keep losing these games whenever – I don't know when their bye week is. I think it's – I'm not going to – yeah, but look for, a little bit of disturbance in the Detroit Force over there. So, all right, next game is going to be a lock of the week for me. I have Tampa Bay over the Denver Broncos. Tampa Bay 6 points. They're favorited by, but with Jeff Driscoll and Blake Bortles. Yeah, they just signed Blake Bortles. Is Bortles starting, or is it's
they're
so
going
irrelevant.
they're going Driscoll.
Driscoll looked good against Pittsburgh last week.
That's what I'm telling you. When everyone talks about that starting quarterback at Denver, I'm like, yo, this dude's not legit. Especially when Driscoll comes in and does the exact same thing with the exact same offense. He actually got the ball to Sutton. Sutton's out for the year, so that's huge. It's huge for Denver. But I mean, that other quarterback from Mizzou is not good. He's just not good. And Driscoll, I think, looked fine.
So Gibby is talking about Drew Lock, the one everyone has been talking about this offseason. Do we like him? Do we not? He hates him. And yeah, I mean, Driscoll looked good last week. I mean, he did get sacked probably 47 times last week against that D line in Pittsburgh. But yeah, I like Tampa Bay in this one though. I think they win by a touchdown. That's why it's a lock for me, at least. So, did you pick? What was your pick?
So, Mile High Stadium. I know you're not a big believer in altitude, but I am. I think avocado ice cream guy back there struggles a little bit. I think them corners play well enough for Denver to cover the spread. They do not win. I'm not telling you to bet the money line on this one. I'm not telling you to put the Broncos are going to win this game, but I almost want to put this as a lock of the week that Denver covers the spread.
Ooh. Nice. But you didn't put it as a lock. And I did. All right, so next we have the Dallas America's Team Cowboys, obligatory Cowboy talk right now. Cowboys obviously had no business winning that game in week 2 against the Falcons, yet the Atlanta Falcons decided to just stare at a football. I don't know what's going on in the special teams room on that. I don't know what happened there. They just stared at the football, just roll right in front of them. And there was like 4 or 5 Falcons players. Anyway, it blows my mind. But Seattle is a tough team. Seattle is maybe one of the best teams in ball right now. Russell Wilson looks like a straightforward MVP candidate, and Seattle is favored by 5 points. And I like Seattle to win this game with ease at home.
All right, so
I'm picking Seattle.
This is one of my last minute changes. So Seattle's riding a high at 2-0, but this secondary isn't good. It's not good. Like they're a great football team. They could be the best team in the NFC, but I still have issues with the secondary. If there's one thing that Dallas can expose, it's a secondary. Before you yell at me, they're a play action call away. The Cowboys are. They're a PI or pass interference call away from being 2-0, but they're an onside kick away from being 0-2. So I have no idea what to believe in for Dallas. So I'm taking the points in this game. I don't know what to get from Dallas, so I have to take the points. I think Dallas covers. Anytime I'm not sure, I'm going to take the points. I'll take the 5 points in Cowboys.
Do you think Dallas' secondary is any better?
No, it's not. I think that's why it's a shootout, and I think that's why they cover.
I see. I don't know. I just think Seattle. You're right. We will learn a lot about both of these teams.
Yeah, Dallas. Yeah.
Especially Dallas, mainly. We know Seattle has what it takes. I mean, they went and beat New England last week, and they look damn good. Russell Wilson threw for what, 5 touchdowns or something? 4 touchdowns.
Hey, MVP. We called it.
Yeah.
At the nosebleeds.
Yeah. I think you did. I think I took Patty Mahomes, but yeah, Russell Wilson looks good. We're going to go next game here with the Green Bay Packers, who have been scorching hot, and this is also another lock of the week for me. I think this is just the easiest one. And you have New Orleans. I've been saying it for a long time. I don't have to repeat myself. New Orleans Saints are not the team. They are not who they thought we were. So, especially with Michael Thomas out, especially with Drew Brees being a year older, we saw it. I don't know. You have the stat, Gibby, of how many. What's the yard per? Was it like 4 or something?
Yep, he's the worst. Drew Brees throws the ball shorter than any other quarterback by 2 yards per attempt. Now think about how misstrued this strat could be. If he throws one 80-yard pass, like that strat is completely misstrued. So he's throwing his average pass is 4 yards from the line of scrimmage. Like that is super low. The next closest guy is like 6.5. So he is not moving the ball downfield. If you're a Kamara fan, if you have Kamara in fantasy and you took him 4th overall, good job, Duke. Or Duck, proud of you. Like you took him over Saquon, I think, but great
Good move.
pick, good move. And I agree with you. I think you got to take the points here with the Packers. I think this is a very good game. Excited for Sunday Night Football, but if they can't push the ball downfield, man, people are just going to stack the box.
Yeah, I mean, and it's going to be another nationally televised. Everyone's going to be watching the Saints again this week. They were Monday night last week. They're Sunday night this week. And they're the favorite here. And it's just tough without their one of their best players, if not their best player. And I mean, you said it. I said it a lot. Drew Brees he's been a great Hall of Fame quarterback, but boy, his time is past. He does not know how to get it downfield the way he used to. I think you have to have that like youth and like athletic ability to at the size. What is he, like 5'10"? I don't know, 6 foot.
Yeah.
You have to be able to make plays at that juncture, and he is past his prime with that. And boy, I tell you, Saints fans, I'm sorry, but I like Green Bay to win this game by 10 to 14 points. So this is a lock for me. Green Bay, and they get a field goal. So, all right. So the game of the week, Monday Night Football, Kansas City versus Baltimore. This is going to be a great game. It's probably going to have, I think, possibly one seed implications. So the team that gets the bye, because these teams are that good, yes, and they have the schedule to get them there. Baltimore especially. Baltimore is favored by 3.5. And I just have to roll with Baltimore here. I'll start it off. It's not a lock for me because either one of these teams could obviously win. Yeah, we saw Kansas City struggle just a little bit against the Chargers last week. Harrison Butker just being a dude out there, just knocking just piss missiles into the sky, straight through the uprights. So, it's good to have that. But on the other side, you have Justin Tucker, who could be an X factor as well. So I like Baltimore to win this game, 3.5. Definitely not a lock, but that's who I got. Gibby, let's speak about your Chiefs here.
Yeah, so if this was 2.5, that means Vegas isn't sure. They're like making this game even, or they're making it 2.5. But 3.5, that means like a field goal, and the common bettor is going to take the points. So that we've talked about some traps. Vegas hasn't been sure the first few weeks, but they're setting a trap here again. Take the Ravens. The Chiefs' defense is banged up. They got some suspensions. It's going to be tough. Of course, I want my Chiefs to win, but we're talking about the spread. We're talking about money. You got to put all that stuff aside. And then if you look at it, like Bill Belichick and his team, whenever they made big runs, and the Chiefs are talking about dynasty. We were on another podcast earlier today that, everyone wants to know if the Chiefs are dynasty. If they are, they can't put a lot of stock in this game because you can't show everything. Lamar hasn't beat the Chiefs yet. And maybe tomorrow is the day that he finally gets that dub. And I wouldn't be surprised the way that they're playing, and the Chiefs coming off that rough W.
Yeah, it'll be a fun game. Either way, I bet that game pulls in all the views, all of them.
Yep.
But all right, we got a few minutes before. So that's our pick'ems. We got a few minutes here. We can do a little overreaction, underreaction. We talked about Drew Brees. Is he no longer an asset to that Saints fan? You know how I feel, so I'll let you start it off. We can talk about, week 1, they go out and beat the Bucs, obviously, and that was a highly anticipated game. Week 2, the Raiders, tough loss, but we don't know what the Raiders are for certain yet. What are your thoughts on Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints going forward? Because I've expressed my opinion, so let's hear a more humble voice.
So we can't deny how smart Drew Brees is, and we know Louisiana had a tough loss in college yesterday, so they're hurting. But if this guy cannot push the ball downfield, like you have to, and we talked about it with fantasy, like don't draft Drew Brees because he's going to have a injury in a few weeks to rest that arm before the playoffs. That injury might need to come earlier, and you might need to put Winston in there. I know everyone keeps telling me, "Oh, Taysom Hill is their backup quarterback." Like, I don't know. Like he's a gimmick guy and stuff like that. I don't like to be a big hot take guy, but I think if you want to do this, like if this doesn't go good this week, I think you've got to have an injury for Brees and put Winston in there and see what he can do. Because they have the weapons. They have the O-line. They have the 1-2 punch at running back. They have the wide receivers. They have the defense. I know that secondary, is the weirdest secondary in football because one week they could be the best secondary in football, and the second week they could have 12 penalties and be holding down and having PIs the whole way. So Carlson's telling us that Rodgers' revenge tour. Lodge, you told us that it's going to be Rodgers' revenge tour.
I agree. He's on a mission.
I didn't believe it.
He's on a mission. I called it before the season. I big fan of Aaron Rodgers and what he's doing, what he's capable of. If you're looking for more Aaron Rodgers material, log into the Pat McAfee show every Tuesday. He's on there, so it's kind of a good listen just to see his thoughts. He's just such an interesting dude too. So definitely check that out.
He basically said his life's a lot nicer since him and Danica Patrick broke up. If you're into all that stuff, so
yeah, he definitely
he basically threw that out.
He's like, I'm just focusing on what's important, and I'm just looking at these positive vibes now. All right, so let's talk about the Packers, a team they faced in the NFC Championship last year, the 49ers. If they if they can't get healthy in probably the toughest division in football, do you think they make the playoffs? Like, what's their future going on? I'll go ahead and start off. I don't know is a simple answer because the NFC has some weak teams. If you take the NFC West out of it, so we're talking each division winner, which is either going to be the Saints or the Bucks. We're talking somebody's got to win the NFC East. Cowboys, Eagles, but we don't know because it's only week 2. So I only think one team makes it out of there because the NFC West is so good. And then the North with the Packers, I think they take that division. I did predict the Vikings winning that, but if the Packers win that, I don't unless the Vikings turn it on. I know you love the Bears, but I'm not a believer in that. So say Seattle wins that division, which it's looking like. You have the Cardinals who are hot. You have the Rams who are hot, and we just don't know what exactly we're gonna get. And we have Tyler Bradley here. Big Dick Baker is going to go off this weekend for 102 yards, one touchdown, and 6 interceptions.
As long as he has 50 handoffs, they'll win the game.
Yeah, if the Browns, Stefanski, just hand the ball off. Like, you have 2 great running backs and an improved offensive line. Hand the ball off, and your team is going to be in good shape. Don't put that pressure on Baker. Don't put that pressure on Baker and OBJ. So, yeah.
But back to the 49ers, I think they have a little wiggle room to get healthy. I think the next 3 weeks are just kind of joke games. I think the Eagles are in there. The Dolphins are in there. They got, this one this week. So I think they'll be okay as long as they kind of stick it out. But I think health is their number one concern. They're going to get Debo back here pretty soon. So if you got him in fantasy, or if he's not, check your waiver wires before kickoff. Make sure Debo's not on the waiver wire.
Yeah,
go pick him up.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, though. It's not, there is an extra playoff spot, but boy, that NFC West looks tough. And I don't mean to say that because I'm a Rams fan, but they just look stout all the way around. So, yeah. So we want to talk about Tom Brady real quick?
Yeah, we'll wrap it up with that.
Yeah, so Tom, week 1, he was dead to the world. Week 2, he comes in, beats the Panthers. Obviously, it's not a big statement because it's the Panthers. They're in a definite rebuilding stage with a new coach, young defense, Luke Kuechly, retiring. CMC played last week, but he's dead right now. So do you think Tom Brady has what it takes to get to the playoffs?
I think he's maybe a wild card team. It's going to be tough, like you talked about with the NFC West and everything. If it comes down to the 49ers and the Bucks, though, I'm taking the 49ers. And if the Rams win today, it's even going to be tougher. And, I don't know, what happens with them, and they've got to get it going. There's drama around that team, which is not normal. They got the Gronk drama and everything. So I don't know. They're on the fence. I can't tell you for sure one way or the other, but they got to get it going, and they're on the edge of making the playoffs.
Yeah, I think it comes down to that division. I think they have their sights in line with they have to win that division. They did take the loss week 1 against the Saints, but with Michael Thomas going out is a big deal. That's their number 1 target. So people can key in on Alvin Kamara. They can key in on who the fuck's that other guy, Jared Cook, and that other dude, that young dude. Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, that's the guy.
He's old, but
Yeah, I know. And then they got that young guy. What was his name? Like Dion Smith or Trey Smith or I don't number
we
11.
had
I
a good
think.
game last week.
Yeah, at least they like him a lot. I know he returns a lot of punts and kicks, but I think the Bucks have to be focused on winning that division to just secure that playoff spot because that, like you said, the NFC West is going to be tough. And if the Bears can turn it on like you think they can, we'll see. And they've gotten lucky so far, but we'll see what the Bears do against that. I think that'll be an interesting game. Atlanta and Chicago.
Yep.
It's going to be a good game. Two teams, Atlanta kind of got that high powered offense ish. Chicago definitely always has a good defense, but Mitch Trubisky and all those other players. So, all right. I hope everyone enjoys their week 3. If you guys have any, thoughts, hit us up, and we'll get back on here next week before kickoff, and hopefully get some videos and podcasts out for you soon. Gibby, go ahead and do your thing and enjoy week 3.
Yep, hopefully we get Cheech back next week. And, cheers. If y'all want to talk about some football during the game, just hit us up on our page. And let's go Chiefs.
Yep.